Benjamin, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much, Ms. Barnes, for having us.
Hey, it's little low, but if we can get a little bit more volume, that'll be great. But I want to just say, that's all we want is products and equipment that are going to do their job.
Absolutely.
You-
Absolutely.
what now going back to that video, what when you say electrify, what does that mean?
So, really, electrify means if you have natural gas or even oil, equipment in your home for heating, for water heating, for cooking, even, some folks still have gas dryers in their homes. Just really switching that equipment out for a more efficient electric option, often a heat pump water heater, an induction stove, which uses a little bit different methodology to heat and cook, and even a gas dryer going to a heat pump or an electric dryer. Um, all of those are really great options for folks, and we offer rebates to help bring down the costs of those, to help people electrify their equipment, get that more energy efficient option. But also, we offer some rebates on if they need upgrades in order to take advantage of that equipment. So many times, your home may not have the electric service or the electric panel that's needed to accommodate that equipment. So we're actually going to offer some rebates to everybody to make those more possible. So a heavy up, as most people would call it, to upgrade the electrical amperage to your home. For the circuits that need to be run within your home, for a higher voltage circuit that needs to be run. So all of those are some of the things that we do for everyone. And then for our income qualified residents, making that much more accessible by bringing down the cost sometimes to nothing for those residents to be able to access some of those technologies.
Yeah, because I was thinking when you were talking about your home, and there are a lot of folks who rent in the DC area, and the impact of electrifying uh, products within those homes. How does DC SEU work with that with the in that environment?
So for our rental for our renters here in the district, obviously it's harder when you're not making those choices for the equipment that's in your home. But we do make available rebates for things like window unit air conditioners, for efficient window unit air conditioners, for dehumidifiers that are Energy Star, energy efficient. We've even added laptops and TVs that are Energy Star that are more energy efficient so that renters can take advantage of that. When it comes to electrification, um, certainly on our affordable home electrification program, which we can talk a little bit more about in a few minutes here, we want to make sure that when someone is looking at electrifying that home, if they do have renters in it, we're doing the upfront work to make sure that one, we understand what equipment's in that home. Two, what impact the electrical going to an electrification project will have in that home. And then also, how can we make sure that the resident, whether the homeowner or the renter, has access to solar for all to kind of offset that electrification cost, oftentimes even bring it down below what they were paying when they had gas equipment in the home. So we're monitoring that up front to make sure that we're not putting somebody in a situation, at least we're modeling that we're not putting somebody in a situation where they're going to have super increased overall utility costs.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a whole show with you, Benjamin, because there's so many questions. I'm sure people, as the more you ask, the more you answer, the more you say, the more I'm thinking about questions that we probably won't have a lot of time to talk about today, particularly utility costs, because folks' electric bills are skyrocketing right now. And how are you all addressing that? Because people might become somewhat discouraged from electrifying their homes, recognizing that you know $600 bills are not uncommon anymore.
Absolutely. So again, especially when we talk about our residents that we're serving through our income qualified programs, we're trying to make sure that we take a two-pronged approach. One, if they're going to electrify, making sure that if they don't already have solar either on their roof, or that they're going through the Solar for All community solar program where they can get access to bill credits. We're making sure that they are making both of those available to them, and then doing that upfront work. Um, And it's about education as well, to make sure that folks understand what they're getting into when they're electrifying. But overall, electrification, when you're replacing gas equipment, oftentimes that gas equipment is not efficient. It's often outdated, and the electric equipment will always be more efficient. It's much more efficient in terms of overall efficiency. It's newer equipment. It's meeting certain standards, Energy Star standards, certain ratings that we require for folks to be eligible for the rebates or to be eligible for our income qualified programs. We're making sure that the equipment that's being installed is as efficient as possible as well.
And so I started just with that topic of electrifying, but what is the role of DCSEU in the community? What do you all do?
Absolutely. So when we talk about the sustainable energy utility, we got started through a piece of legislation from DC Council called the Clean and Affordable Energy Act of 2008. We are technically under a performance contract to the District Department of Energy and Environment. It was great to see Cecile because I used to work with her when she was a DOEE. But really designed to be a one-stop resource for energy efficiency, renewable energy services, just really helping all district residents, businesses reduce energy use, cost, emissions. Um, we're really what's called an energy efficiency utility. They exist many places across the country here, really to be independent of the local utilities running energy efficiency programs. Um, but I think what really makes us different at the SEU, there's definitely many utility-led and independent energy efficiency and clean energy programs across the country. What makes us unique is really the combination of both traditional energy savings benchmarks, but also we combine that with, we have economic and equity benchmarks. We need to create a certain number of green jobs for district residents. This is paid for by utility ratepayers right here in the District of Columbia. We want to make sure that those dollars, and I think the council wanted to make sure these dollars are going back to district residents and district businesses. So we have those green job creation requirements. We have economic opportunities for DC businesses. We want to make sure that we're investing in local district-based businesses, especially certified business enterprises, which many of you have probably heard about. I believe Washington Informer is a CBE
Yes, we are.
themselves. Um, and then investment requirements. We want to make sure that a certain amount of our dollars are being invested in low and moderate income communities. We don't want to leave anybody behind. We want to make sure that clean energy efficiency is affordable and accessible to as many people as possible. So I think that's really what makes us unique as the SEU.
So with a little bit about the green jobs, the creation of green jobs. What we talked about that in the past. I don't remember having conversations about that recently. But what would be a green job? What are some of those? How would you define
So
them?
we would define a green job really as an FTE is basically a certain number of hours. I think it's 1,950 hours. Typically, most people say 2,080 hours. But that's worked by a district resident in support of DCSEU programs at least DC's living wage. And when we can't directly measure those jobs, we're measuring it in terms of our incentive dollars that are being invested back here in the district. So for every $200,000 of incentives or rebates that we're driving back into the community, that's also a full-time equivalent. And we want to make sure that we're achieving at least 66 FTEs, as many as 88 or more FTEs every year through our work. Oftentimes, we're creating a lot more jobs than that. That's what we can directly attribute back to our work. But it's a really important part of the work here. And what goes into that as well is our workforce development program, making sure that we are making these opportunities available to district residents who may be getting into this field for the first time. We've had more than 300 folks graduate from our workforce development program,
Nice.
and we're really proud of that and really excited to continue that work. We have a cohort going right now, spring and summer cohort of about 14 district residents from all walks of life who are going through that externship process right now.
That, I mean, I'm bringing it back up, but do you all collaborate with Morca at all? Is there sort of a
We
connection?
have. So with Morca and CSOSA, so again, when I say that there are folks from all walks of life, it's unemployed, underemployed, seniors who are looking for getting back into the workforce.
Wow.
It's a very diverse group of folks, and that includes returning citizens that we've worked with over the years, and many of them have gone on to success, careers both at the DCSEU. We've hired some of our externs here at the DCSEU, but also some have gone on to start their own businesses here in the district. So it's a really important program. It's a much longer workforce development program than I think most workforce development programs. We take on folks for about 5 months. We
Oh,
ensure that they're getting paid at least DC's living wage during that time. It is full-time work. We make sure that they're getting some financial literacy, some soft skills training, but also we're not employing them. They're working with mentor organizations here in the district that work in sustainability. So they're getting that real on the job resume building experience. And then finally, we're also making certifications, national certifications, things like OSHA 10, that make them much more attractive to their next employer, having those certifications on their resume.
that's amazing. Before we move on or close out, how can people reach DCSEU or SEU, as you just said, if they want more information? We want to put it up on the screen, but there it is.
Absolutely. So definitely follow us on all of our social media. Our marketing and communications team, I want to shout them out. They do a fantastic job. That video that you saw at the beginning was produced by them with one of our local residents here. But visit us at dcsc.com. Call us. We're at 202-479-2222. Or come see us at events. We post the events that we're going to be at on our website. Next weekend is DOEE's EV Grand Prix, which is a really fun event where local high schools, district high schools, and regional high schools build EVs. We'll be there tabling, so come talk to us there as well.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. Now, I want to go ask you the same thing because you worked at DOEE and now you're there at SEU, all these alphabets. But how did BB, Benjamin Burdick, get involved in the environmental movement? What's your journey?
Absolutely. So I moved to DC 21 years ago, last month,
Wow.
when I graduated from school. And during that time, I've been married, had a child. We bought a home, and I think what really drove me was seeing, some of the older housing stock here in the district and what improvements could be made to it. And I think when this opportunity came up with the DCSEU 14 years ago, I wanted to take my communications experience. I have a communications background, and I wanted to make sure that I was serving the community that I live in. And I think this is a great way to ensure that we are helping folks. Sustainability is not just about the environment, it's about economics too, and making sure that folks who were born here and raised here and want to stay here, or folks who move into the city and make this city their home, are able to stay here as we see things, pricing go up in housing, pricing go up in utilities. And I think that's really what sustainability was all about for me, is really just sustaining the community that's here. And I love the opportunity to serve the community in which I live.
So before we close, that's great. And welcome to DC. 21 years ago.
That's
Yes,
right.
happy
That's right.
anniversary. But before we go, two things. One, we just with Cecile, just what the federal government, some of the, well, the administration, some of the policies that they're rolling back on. And I always say, you have that entity, but then you have the states, and then you have the people, right? So first, I know DC has a environmental and sustainability goal. If you could just remind us of what that is, and are we still going to remain on track to meet that goal despite what others intend for us to do?
Sure. So the district has some of the most ambitious clean energy and climate goals in the nation here. By 2041, I believe, 100% renewable energy here in the district. Um, Certainly, the posture of the federal government has an impact on that and whether we'll be able to meet it. I think that everything that's going on economically certainly impacts the district's budget and its ability to invest in environmental and energy and clean energy. But we are going to continue down this pathway and do our best, at least from the SEU standpoint, to support meeting those goals. It's going to be a challenge, certainly. We have our work cut out for us, but we're confident we continue to chip away at this and really make sure that affordability and accessibility is a big part of meeting those goals, meeting those clean energy and climate goals.
Well, that's good to hear, and I think those there's a growing population now that again wants to be a part of meeting those goals. And so, like I said, you got the people and you got the states, and together, I think we can do that. So I'm hopeful. And one thing I don't see, as Cecile mentioned, is these plastic bags flying all over the place anymore. I mean, that really is a visual impact of what public policy can do. And so I want to thank you for being with us today. Anything that you want to share that I didn't ask?
I mean, I would just love to share that, we just celebrated our 15th anniversary here at the SEU.
Wonderful.
And certainly we are very proud of what we've done. We've got more work to do. But I think we talk about economics and sustainability, the dollars that are being invested here, we don't take lightly. We have an important job to do as stewards of these dollars. And over those 15 years, $360 million approximately have been invested in the SEU. We've delivered $2.2 billion in lifetime cost savings for district residents, and we think that continues to be a good investment. And we want to continue to do this work and really make an impact, especially with those that impact the most, those low and moderate income residents who we don't want to see left behind as clean energy becomes more prevalent, and as affordability continues to be an issue here when it relates to utilities.
Wonderful. Happy anniversary again
Thank you.
for SEU. And yeah, we're going to stay connected, making sure that we can help to get the word out, and and flow questions to you if we get them for people who want to know more. But I know we put the information up, so I want to thank you, Benjamin, for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
All right, have a great one.
You too. Take care.
Okay.
Where do you come to get